Now, in case you didn't know, AGATHA COVEN of Chaos is set to shoot in the next couple of weeks, and we have quite the cast and crew that is confirmed to be part of the show. We actually did a full breakdown on that, and there's some pretty interesting new and returning names. But we've recently got some news of an additional cast member, and the team over at Murphy's Multiverse had shed some interesting light on the possibility of who this could be. Now, before we dive into that though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We want to be your place for all the Marvel and DC news, but we want to make sure we're bringing it to you transparently and truthfully, so you are really in the know. Well, if you've been paying attention to the news the last week, specifically to the MCU, there have been several casting updates for AGATHA COVEN of Chaos, and one of those is Miles Gutierrez Riley, who has joined the show in an undisclosed role. Now, when these things happen, people start guessing, and the team over at Murphy's Multiverse has shared a little bit of light on who this possibly could be. Now, we've been hearing for a while that the show could be introducing both Wiccan and Hulkling, and the site actually believes he will be playing the Kree-Skull hybrid in the upcoming series. Now, if you remember correctly, last October a casting call went out for Agatha, indicating Marvel Studios would be looking to include both Billy Kaplan and Teddy Altman in the upcoming series. We later got the casting of Joe Locke, which, although it has been unconfirmed, many people do believe he is actually playing Wiccan in the series. Now, at that point in time, Marvel was looking for another gay actor between the ages of 18 and 20 who would be in a relationship with Locke's character. Now, quite honestly, Gutierrez Riley is a little bit older than that, but he does fit the description, and quite honestly, the guy really has quite the acting background for such a young person. He is the Denzel Washington Scholarship recipient at Fordham, and he's already landed leading roles in The Wilds and On the Come Up, so him joining AGATHA COVEN of Chaos could be quite the boon for the MCU. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Teddy Altman in the comics, that's okay. He's actually a Kree-Skrull hybrid and is the grandson of the Skrull Emperor and the son of the original Captain Marvel. It's totally unclear how Marvel will rectify this particular story issue, but the timing is pretty interesting considering both Secret Invasion and the Marvels are on the horizon, and the character would fit into both of those stories in pretty interesting ways. It's unlikely he would appear in those movies, but it is directly possible that all these things will be set up during those particular projects. Now, how Marvel brings all this together in Agatha, we're going to have to wait and see. We know Billy Kaplan is very likely to be part of the show, and I am curious on how Marvel is going to rectify some of those confusing attributes with general audiences. In the comics, the soul of Billy actually resides in the body, making him the Scarlet Witch's son, despite having his own set of parents. I think a big part of this upcoming series is going to be not only to establish a much broader magical subset within the MCU, including both Agatha and a Coven of Witches, but also to establish more of these young Avenger characters, who I believe following Secret Wars are going to play a much bigger role than many people are expecting. The Hulkling-Wiccan relationship is a huge part of the Young Avengers comics, and I think if they are developing the Young Avengers, getting these characters established in a relationship early is probably going to be key to making those movies work. There's a lot of stuff that needs to happen in these big ensemble superhero movies, and quite honestly, sometimes romantic subplots just derail that effort. I always think back to the Bruce Banner Black Widow subplot during Age of Ultron. That basically was clunky and was just left behind because it was pretty much useless. Doing it in the show like this makes a lot more sense, gives it time to grow, and won't feel like such a forced effort when the movie or whatever project they do finally comes along. Agatha is still expected to hit Disney sometime later this year or maybe even early in 2024. We know Marvel has a bunch of delays coming our way, but with this show already being pushed into production, I sort of suspect maybe some of the storylines are important to key storylines moving forward, which I do think will be the main determinant for Kevin Feige on whether some stuff gets delayed or pushed back. But we'll have to wait and see.